Good evening, YouTubers. This is my first video here on YouTube. My name's Crumb3D. I'm pleased to meet all of you. I'm going to be doing a reaction video for you today. It's by Matthew Sontaro. You've probably all heard of him. This is latest video. He was uploaded about an hour ago, and already he's had 22,801 views on that. So it's called The 10 Most Haunted Places on Earth Part 2. Okay guys, let's have a look at this.
As children, we're told that the things that go bump in the night are simply our imagination. But there are those out there who have discovered that sometimes it's much more. Here are the 10 most haunted places on Earth, Part 2. Number 10 is the Old Shangji Hospital, Singapore.
Nice.
Founded in 1935 in Shangji, Singapore, this general hospital, referred to as Old Shangji Hospital, was closed in late December of 1997. Though all of the living patients and staff left, it's been long rumored that many of the dead have remained. Called the most haunted location in all of Singapore, Old Shangji is said to have a large number of spirits inside its walls, many of them being soldiers who are understandably angry over losing their lives during the Japanese occupation of the country during World War II that lasted from 1942 until 1945. Some of these soldiers are often heard screaming as if being tortured today. Other encounters have included hearing pleas of mercy, spotting dead patients who look like they're still suffering, and shadowy figures that lurk in the darker areas. All of them watching people from the darkness as if waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Number 9 is Babenhausen, Germany. Labeled by many as the most haunted area in all of the country, Babenhausen is a town located in Hesse, Germany. A military town, Babenhausen has a World War II barracks in their backyard, and it's not uncommon to see German soldiers in full uniform in the area. But of course, those soldiers are very much dead. People in the town have even claimed to see large numbers of ghostly soldiers marching in formation in and around the barracks, which have been transformed into a war museum. Inside the building, legend has it that if a soldier picks up a certain telephone, a woman can be heard on the other end eerily speaking backwards. The region is a place of death, especially in regards to war, but the most popular ghost isn't a soldier at all. It's actually a witch. An angry spirit who was burned at the stake, the witch has apparently seduced a number of German soldiers and ultimately killed them. Number 8 is Jerome, Arizona, USA.
Come on, Matthew. Something in England that I can actually visit? Really?
When someone refers to an area as a ghost town, they usually mean an abandoned group of buildings, not a place populated by the spirits of the dead. However, when they're talking about Jerome, Arizona, they might quite literally mean both. A town formed in the late 1800s around the mining of copper and other ores, Jerome saw more than its fair share of death to accidents in the mines, opium overdoses, and even gunfights before the ore source was depleted and the population dwindled to less than 100 citizens. Today, only 44 people, mostly artists, have made Jerome their home. However, they share the town with a large number of ghosts. They include a prostitute who was stabbed to death by a miner who wanders the roads. Another, a bordello owner who was also murdered by a client and likes to throw cooking utensils that are not put away properly. And
okay, so not a place to visit then. And that looks like some dull beach.
Another, a grumpy-looking shadowy man who appears suddenly to startle people. These among hundreds of others who have yet to find rest. Number 7 is Hotel McDonald, Alberta, Canada.
See, Matthew? England? Really?
Opened on
Please?
July 5th, 1915 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. This chateau-style hotel was named after the country's first Prime Minister, John A. Macdonald, and is today considered one of the most prominent locations for paranormal activity. Unlike many other haunted locations, the spirits haunting Hotel Macdonald are not all human. One ghostly creature in particular makes itself known more than any other at the haunted hotel. At night, many guests have reported hearing a horse, as well as a carriage, clopping along briskly, but not outside in the parking lot or even in the lobby, but down the hallways of the 8th and uppermost floor of the building. It's said that the horse suddenly fell dead on site during the initial pouring of the hotel's foundation in 1914. Night managers have also been known to receive calls from rooms on the 6th floor, but when they investigate, the room is completely vacant and undisturbed. Number 6 is St. Augustine Lighthouse, Florida, USA. Built in 1874 at the northern tip of Anastasia Island in Florida, United States, at St. Augustine Lighthouse is still an active beacon today. However, there are other, much darker and more mysterious things active at this landmark, namely the spirits of the dead. Multiple visitors and staff at the lighthouse have claimed to smell cigars when there are no smokers in the vicinity. This is said to be a sign that the ghost of Peter Rasmussen, one of the first keepers of St. Augustine, is nearby. Rasmussen isn't the only late keeper to haunt the premises, as people have also seen Joseph Andrew standing at the top of the tower. Andrew accidentally fell from the lighthouse while painting it and died over 100 years ago, but he too is still present, keeping an eye on the waters. Also often seen are the ghosts of two young girls, Eliza and Mary Pitty, who died in the late 1800s and can still be heard laughing in the tower late at night. Number 5 is Mary King's Clouse, Scotland.
So,
back in the 16th and 17th.
Okay, guys, if you keep seeing me looking down, it's because I have cats and they're tickling my arms. So you'll have to excuse that, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Centuries, the city of Edinburgh, Scotland, was made up of the Royal Mile, the largest and busiest street. It was also made up of a number of clouses, which were alleyways. Named after Mary King, a local merchant burgess, Mary King's Clouse is one such alleyway, but has long been partially demolished and buried as the city modernized. Much of the area can still be accessed today, and often is, especially by those looking for a paranormal experience. A number of ghosts haunt the alley, including Annie, a girl around 12 years old who likes to tug at people's legs while they walk, and a spirit who makes people feel disoriented and sick to their stomachs. While some try to simply explain away the odd visual and audible experiences that people have while walking along Mary King's Clouse as the result of gas-induced hallucinations, others know that what has happened to them was purely paranormal. Number 4 is Lawang Soyu, Indonesia. Completed in 1919, Lawang Soyu, or Thousand Doors, was the headquarters for the Dutch East Indies Railway Company in the city of Semarang, East Java, Indonesia. As it stands today, it is one of the most famous haunted houses in the world. In addition to the more commonly encountered spirits of a Dutch woman who took her own life and a number of headless ghouls, the most terrifying creature said to lurk in the shadows of the B building's basement is the Pontianak, a pale-skinned, red-eyed, vampiric-looking woman with long black hair who wears a blood-soaked white dress.
Nice.
She's most often encountered
Not very
during
white
full
anymore, though,
moon.
is it, Matthew?
And over the last several years, the Indonesian government has put a great deal of time and effort into rebranding the building in an attempt to change the eerie feelings that it gives people. But to their dismay, it's still regarded as a huge paranormal hotspot. Number 3 is the Queen Mary Hotel, California, United States. Though this hotel currently sits in Long Beach,
Now that's something I'd like, is a hotel that's actually situated on a boat. Well, apparently that boat doesn't move, which would be brilliant, because then if you needed to get off it, you'd be fine. So it's a bit like planes. I don't see the point of jumping out of a perfectly good plane, guys.
Harbor in California, United States. Before it was retired, the RMS Queen Mary, a 305-meter-long ocean liner, was a legendary vessel. Christened on September 26, 1934, this ship was a luxurious passenger liner, but became a military transport during World War II, even participating in the world-changing events of D-Day. Today, while many people call the Queen Mary their temporary home away from home, there are a large number of spirits that permanently reside there. These include an 18-year-old bearded man in blue overalls who walks along the hallway in the engine room, always disappearing when he reaches the spot of his death. It also includes a number of female swimmers near the now closed pools, a woman in white who dances in the shadows, and a drowned girl who seems to like talking to people. Over 150 apparitions have been seen, though that number continues to grow. Number 2 is Bangalore Fort, India.
Just a pre-warning, guys, I am going to stop the video after this one, so if you do want to watch the entire video of this without none of the pausing that you've had, I will leave the link to the video in the description below, down there, or wherever it might be on your device. Let's continue.
Located in the Rajasthan state of India in the 1600s, Bangalore Fort is world famous for being the most haunted place in all of India. In fact, this well-preserved fort is so haunted that the Archaeological Survey of India has posted a notice at the site's entrance that declares no one is allowed to be inside after sunset. This is due to the amount of paranormal occurrences escalating sharply at night, and the fact that authorities have no interest in going into the cursed area in order to save someone unlucky enough to be inside. With the wails and cries coming out of the fort, it's likely people wouldn't be able to tell the difference between those coming from the living and those coming from the dead. It's difficult to pinpoint if the ghosts are those of royalty, soldiers, or an infamous wizard, as nobody who spends the night in Bangalore Fort is found the next day to describe it. And
Okay, guys, as I said, I'm going to leave it at that. I will put the link to description, the link to the video on Matthew's channel there in the description down below. As I said, this is my first video on YouTube. If you guys have got any comments for me, any suggestions for what I might watch or what I might do in my videos, if you leave those in the comment section down below. And please, guys, subscribe. And don't forget, subscribe to Matthew Sontaro as well. He puts out loads of good content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.